The cold walls of the alien prison cell hummed with strange energy. Dim blue lights flickered in the corners, casting long shadows across the metal floor. The human soldier sat on a bench near the door, his rifle leaning against the wall, but his eyes were not steady. They kept moving, sliding back toward the figure in the center of the room. The alien warrior was chained, her arms bound by glowing cuffs that sparked whenever she moved. She was tall, her skin shimmering with a faint silver glow, her eyes sharp and unblinking. She carried herself with pride, even in chains. Every movement spoke of power, as if captivity was only a temporary state. The human shifted uncomfortably. He had been trained to face battle, to endure pain, even to fight in zero gravity. But this silence, this strange tension, was something else. The alien noticed his unease. Her eyes narrowed as she tilted her head, watching him with quiet amusement. For minutes, neither spoke. The hum of the energy cuffs filled the silence. The human kept pretending to check his rifle, to glance at the door, to clear his throat. But the truth was obvious. His gaze always returned to her. Finally, the alien broke the silence. Her voice was deep, smooth, but edged with mockery. "Does the bulge between my legs intrigue you, human?" The words sliced through the air like a blade. The human froze. His heart skipped a beat, and his face flushed hot with sudden embarrassment. I don't. What are you talking about?" He stammered, almost dropping his rifle. The alien leaned forward, her chains rattling softly. Her silver eyes gleamed with mischief. "You keep staring. Your face is red. Do not deny it. You are curious. Is that why you act so strange around me?" The soldier swallowed hard. He had been warned in training, never let a captive control the conversation. Never let them see your weakness. But in that moment, he felt like prey caught in the gaze of a predator. "I wasn't staring," he muttered, looking away. His voice lacked conviction. The alien laughed softly, a sound both mocking and strangely melodic. Human, so easy to read. So shy about bodies. On my world, we do not hide our survival organs. We wear them as honor. The soldier's eyes flicked back before he could stop himself. "Survival organs?" he asked. Her grin widened. She straightened her back proudly, the chain straining against her strength. "Yes, you think it is something vulgar. But it is not. It is my shield. My weapon. The reason I still live when others have perished." The human blinked, his curiosity fighting with his caution. He had expected this mission to be simple: guard a prisoner until the next transport. But now he found himself pulled into a dangerous game. Every word from her mouth carried double meaning. The alien leaned closer, her eyes narrowing. "Tell me, human, what do you see when you look at me? An enemy? A monster? Or something you do not understand and fear?" The soldier's throat tightened. His training told him to remain silent, but silence now felt like surrender. He finally forced out a reply. "I see. Someone who wants me to make a mistake." Her laughter echoed again, low and mocking, but beneath it there was something else. A test, a challenge. The human gripped his rifle tighter, reminding himself of his duty. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. What if she was not simply taunting him? What if she truly held a secret, something dangerous, hidden in plain sight? Minutes passed in heavy silence. The human's heartbeat thundered in his chest, and the alien's steady gaze never wavered. The air in the cell grew colder, heavier, filled with tension neither could break. Finally she whispered, her voice softer but still sharp. "You fear me. Yet you are curious. That is good. Fear without curiosity is weakness. But curiosity with fear, that is power. Tell me, human, will you use that power? Or let it consume you?" The human said nothing. He only sat rigid, his eyes locked on hers. And in that silence, The real battle had already begun. The human soldier barely moved after her words. His face still burned, his hands tight around the rifle. The alien's silver eyes gleamed as if she had already won something by forcing him into silence. She leaned back slowly, her chains rattling. "Strange creatures, you humans," she murmured. "You flinch at simple words. You hide your bodies with layers of cloth. And yet, when you think no one notices, your eyes betray you." The human pressed his lips together. He wanted to argue, to defend himself, but each word stuck in his throat. The alien smirked, as though his silence confirmed everything. "You believe," she continued, "that the bulge between my legs is the same as yours. You think it means reproduction." She tilted her head, studying him. "Is that why you stare? Do you think I am inviting you?" The soldier almost choked on his breath. "No, that's not what I—" He cut himself off, realizing too late that raising his voice only made him sound guilty. The alien laughed, sharp and mocking. "Your face says yes, even while your mouth says no." Typical human confusion. She leaned forward again, her tone changing from playful to serious. "But you are wrong. My bulge is not for mating. It is for survival. Inside is a gland that releases hardened crystal when I am threatened. That crystal can pierce steel. That is how I killed your comrade who tried to chain me alone." The soldier's eyes widened. His heart raced. "You're lying." She smiled slowly, like a predator who knows the prey is already in the trap. "Am I, or did your commanders tell you nothing about my kind?" The human clenched his jaw. He remembered the briefing. Zarathi warriors are highly dangerous. Their bodies carry hidden weapons. Do not underestimate them. But no one had said anything about a biological weapon like this. The alien saw the flicker of doubt in his eyes. Her grin widened. Now you begin to wonder if my words are truth. That is good. You should wonder. Curiosity keeps you alive." He shifted uncomfortably, trying to regain control of the situation. "Even if that's true, why tell me? Why not keep it secret?" Her laughter echoed again, softer this time, almost like a whisper. "Because I enjoy watching you squirm, human. You do not know whether to fear me or pity me. And while you struggle with your thoughts, I study you." The soldier's stomach twisted. He realized she had turned the entire encounter upside down. He was supposed to guard her. Instead, he felt like the prisoner under interrogation. Finally, he tried a different approach. "On Earth, we don't brag about dangerous parts of our bodies. We hide them. We fight with weapons, not organs." The alien tilted her head, genuinely curious now. "Hide? Why hide strength? That is foolish. On my world, to display your weapon is to show honor. To hide it is shame." The human leaned back, surprised by her sincerity. For a moment, it almost felt like a cultural exchange instead of a prisoner interrogation. But then she narrowed her eyes, her tone sharp again. "Tell me, human, do you hide because you are weak? Or because you are ashamed of what you are?" The question cut deep. The soldier had no answer. His mind flashed with memories of Earth wars, pollution, endless struggles. Humans survived by covering pain, by hiding scars, by pretending strength even when fragile. Was that shame? Or resilience? He shook his head, trying to clear his thoughts. "You wouldn't understand." Her chains rattled as she leaned closer, her silver glow brightening. "Make me understand," she demanded. The soldier hesitated. Part of him wanted to shut her out. Another part wanted to speak. Maybe it was the way her eyes locked onto his, demanding truth. Maybe it was the strange, almost magnetic pull of her presence. He finally said quietly, "We hide because survival for us is not about showing strength. It's about not letting the enemy see weakness." The alien paused. For the first time, her mocking smile faded. Her expression softened, as though she had not expected such an answer. A long silence filled the cell. The human thought he saw a flicker of respect in her eyes. But just as quickly, it vanished, replaced by a sly grin. "Interesting," she whispered. "So your shame is also your shield." She leaned back again, laughing softly. "Maybe we are not so different after all, human." The soldier stared at her, unsettled. He couldn't tell if she was mocking him again or revealing something deeper. And in that strange, uneasy moment, he realized the misunderstanding was no longer just about her body. It was about their entire species. Two worlds, two cultures, colliding in one small cell, both trying to understand, both afraid to admit they might see themselves in the other. The dim prison chamber felt smaller now. The walls, once silent, seemed to close in as the soldier realized something. The alien's words weren't idle taunts. They carried weight. A warning. A secret. He leaned forward, his voice low but firm. "If what you're saying is true, then why haven't you used it already? Why sit here chained when you could have killed me?" The alien warrior tilted her head, her silver eyes glimmering under the faint light. For the first time, she didn't smile. Instead, she whispered, "Because killing you is not my mission." The soldier froze. A ripple of unease ran through him. "Your mission?" She nodded slowly, her chains clinking. "Do you think you captured me? Foolish human, I allowed this. I needed to be here." The human's blood ran cold. His training had warned him about manipulation tactics, but the conviction in her tone shook him. His mind raced. Why would an alien warrior let herself be taken? The alien leaned closer, her voice sharp as glass. "The bulge you keep staring at. It holds more than a weapon. Inside, I carry something your people desperately seek, Zerathium crystals. The lifeblood of our empire." The human's eyes widened. Zerathium. He had heard the name in hushed whispers during briefings. Energy so pure it could power starships for centuries. Rare, priceless, dangerous. Wars had been fought over fragments of it. "You're lying," he said. Though his voice lacked conviction, her lips curved into a faint, knowing smile. "If I lie, then why do your commanders fear us so much? Why do they call us Deathworlders? Because we are walking arsenals. My bulge," she tapped her bound legs lightly, "is a living vault. And you are sitting inches away from the most powerful crystal in this galaxy." The soldier's stomach knotted. Suddenly, her earlier taunts felt different. What he thought was mockery now seemed like distraction, keeping him off guard while she fed pieces of truth. But one question clawed at his mind. "If you have something that powerful, what do you want from me?" The alien's gaze locked onto his, unblinking. "Trust." He almost laughed, though it came out strained. "Trust? You expect me to trust you? After admitting you let yourself get captured? After telling me you're carrying a bomb inside your body?" Her voice softened, almost too calm. "Not a bomb. A key," the soldier frowned. "A key to what?" Her silver eyes darkened, like storm clouds gathering. "To survival for both our species." The words hung heavy in the air. The soldier's pulse quickened. He wanted to demand answers, to press her further, but something in her gaze stopped him. It wasn't arrogance this time. It was something else, fear. That realization unsettled him more than anything. He had seen her laugh, taunt, and mock. But fear, that was new. And it meant something bigger was at play. He straightened, tightening his grip on the rifle. "If you're telling the truth, then my commanders will want to know. They'll take it from you." Her laughter returned, but it was bitter now. "Your commanders? They would carve me open like an animal. Take the crystal and discard the shell. They do not want peace, human. They want power. That is why I chose you instead." The soldier's breath caught. "Chose me? Why me?" Her chains rattled as she leaned forward, her glowing skin inches from his. Because you hesitate. You question. You are not like the others. You looked at me with confusion, not hatred. That means there is still hope. He swallowed hard, his throat dry. Hope for what? For alliance? For survival? Or for something darker? The silence between them thickened until the alien whispered again. But know this, human. If I release what I carry, it will change everything. It will save us. Or destroy us both. The soldier felt the weight of her words press down on him. His duty screamed one thing, alert command. But his instincts whispered another. If she was telling the truth, then handing her over might doom not just her, but humanity itself. The cell seemed to pulse with tension. The human realized he was no longer just guarding a prisoner. He was sitting at the heart of a secret that could ignite a war or prevent one. And for the first time, he wondered if the real danger in this room wasn't her chains, but the choice she was forcing upon him. The silence inside the cell stretched on, heavy like a storm waiting to break. The human soldier's mind reeled. He had been told his job was simple: guard the prisoner, wait for orders. Yet every word from her mouth made his duty blur into something he couldn't recognize. The alien warrior sat straight despite her chains, her eyes steady on him. Finally she spoke again, voice calm but cutting. Your people want power. My people want survival. And you, human, you sit between us, unsure of which path to follow. The soldier clenched his fists. Don't pretend you know me. You've been here less than a day. Her lips curved slightly, though not in mockery this time. I know more than you think. I study, I observe. That is how my kind survived death worlds when weaker species perished. He frowned. On Earth, survival doesn't come from constant suspicion. It comes from building trust, working together. She tilted her head, eyes narrowing with disbelief. Trust? Your history is filled with wars against your own kind. You destroy each other for land, for resources, for pride. Do not speak to me of trust. The soldier's jaw tightened. He wanted to argue, but her words cut deep because they were true. Still, he refused to surrender the point. Yes, we fought. But we also built. We healed. We helped one another. That's why we spread to the stars. Not because we hid crystals inside our bodies. For the first time she seemed unsettled. A flicker passed across her silver eyes, like a shadow of doubt. My people, she said slowly, mocked humans for their fragility. Thin skin, weak bones, slow reflexes. We called you soft-worlders. Yet now I see. She paused, searching for words. You fight without weapons. You endure suffering not with claws, but with will. That is strength we do not understand. The soldier blinked. Her tone was no longer sharp. It carried something else: curiosity. Respect, perhaps, but just as quickly, her expression hardened again. Do not mistake me, human. Respect is not trust. Our ways are not the same. You speak of hiding weakness. We speak of displaying strength. To us, shame is death. To you, shame is armor. He shook his head. Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe survival isn't about hiding or showing. Maybe it's about knowing when to do which. The alien tilted her head again, studying him as if weighing his soul. Then she laughed softly, a sound without cruelty this time. You speak like a leader, not a soldier. The words startled him. He had never thought of himself as anything more than a man following orders. Before he could reply, the cell lights flickered. A siren wailed faintly from far above, echoing down the corridors. The soldier stiffened, reaching for his rifle. The alien's eyes narrowed. They are moving me, she said, almost certain. Your commanders will come soon. They will take me away from you. He felt his chest tighten. Strangely, the thought unsettled him. Not because he wanted her free, but because he wasn't ready to lose the fragile, dangerous conversation they had begun. "They'll question you," he muttered. "Maybe torture you." Her silver eyes met his, unflinching. "And when they do, the galaxy will burn. Because if they force me, if they cut me open, the Zerathium inside will unleash a storm none of you can contain." The soldier's blood ran cold. He tried to picture it, a crystal so powerful that it could ignite entire fleets. In the wrong hands, it would not just power ships. It would obliterate worlds. He swallowed hard, then whispered, "So what do you expect me to do? Free you, betray my people?" Her chains rattled as she leaned closer, her glow brightening in the dim cell. "I expect you to decide who you are, human. A soldier who obeys orders blindly. Or something more." The words struck deeper than any weapon. All his life, he had been trained to follow command, to never question. But sitting here, staring at this alien who mocked, challenged, and yet respected him, he realized something dangerous. He wanted to choose for himself. The alarm sirens grew louder now. Heavy footsteps echoed down the corridor. The alien's voice dropped to a whisper, urgent but steady. "When they come, you must decide. Tell them what I am, and they will kill me and take the crystal. Keep my secret, and you gamble your world's future. But if you free me—" She paused, her eyes gleaming like molten silver. "Then maybe, just maybe, you save us both." The soldier's hands trembled around his rifle. Sweat slid down his back. He felt the weight of a decision no man should carry. And in that moment, as the footsteps neared, he realized the true clash was not between human and alien. It was inside himself, duty versus choice. Fear versus courage, loyalty versus truth. The door lock beeped. Shadows stretched across the floor as the cell door began to open. The alien warrior whispered one last time, "Choose wisely, human, for your choice will echo across the stars." The heavy door hissed open, and 3 armored guards stepped into the cell. Their visors glowed red, their rifles humming with charged plasma. The human soldier stiffened, raising his own weapon halfway. Torn between duty and dread, the alien warrior remained still in her chains, her silver eyes burning with quiet defiance. She leaned forward just enough for her whisper to reach him. "Now is the moment, human. If you choose them, I die. If you choose me, we escape." His pulse pounded in his ears. He wanted to shout, to demand more time, but the world was already moving too fast. The lead guard barked an order. "Step aside, soldier. We're transferring the prisoner." The human hesitated. His finger hovered near the trigger. His chest tightened as his training screamed, "Obey, do not resist." But another voice, quieter yet stronger, echoed inside. "If she's right, if the crystal inside her is real, handing her over means disaster." The alien's chain sparked suddenly, her body tensing. She gave him one last piercing look. "Decide." And then it happened. The bulge between her legs glowed faintly, a pulsing light like molten fire trapped beneath her skin. The air filled with a sharp hum, as if invisible power vibrated in the room. The guards froze for half a second, startled. The human's instincts roared louder than his orders. With a shout, he swung his rifle, not at her, but at the nearest guard. The butt of the weapon slammed into the visor, cracking it. The guard stumbled back, weapon firing wild, scorching the cell wall. Chaos erupted. The alien's organ released a blinding flash, not an explosion, but a concentrated burst of energy. Her chain snapped open, falling uselessly to the floor, glowing like melted metal. The human shielded his eyes. When he looked again, she was freestanding tall, her skin glowing brighter than ever. For a split second, she looked less like a prisoner and more like a goddess of war. The guards fired wildly, but the alien raised her hand. The glow from her body surged outward in a protective arc. deflecting plasma shots like pebbles hitting a shield. Sparks flew, walls cracked, and alarms screamed through the facility. The human's mind raced. He hadn't planned this, he had no plan at all. Yet here he was, fighting side by side with the very being he was meant to guard. "Move!" she commanded, her voice thundering above the chaos. He obeyed without thinking. Together, they pushed past the stunned guards. She used her glowing energy to blast open the hallway door, leaving molten steel dripping in their wake. The corridor beyond stretched long and dark, emergency lights flashing red. Sirens wailed louder, echoing off the walls. More footsteps thundered in the distance. Reinforcements were coming. The human's chest heaved. "We'll never make it out alive," he shouted as they ran. The alien turned her head just enough for her glowing eyes to meet his. "We will, if you trust me." Her words hit harder than the gunfire behind them. He didn't know if she was leading him to freedom or into a deeper trap. But at that moment, with alarms blaring and plasma bolts scorching the walls, trust was all he had left. They reached a junction. The human pointed right, the path to the hangar. "That way leads to ships." But the alien shook her head fiercely. "No, too obvious. They'll be waiting. Follow me." She darted left, into a narrower corridor lined with strange pipes that hissed steam. The human hesitated for a second, then followed, heart hammering. Every step echoed with urgency. Every turn pulled him further from duty, deeper into betrayal. Yet something inside whispered that this was the only path that mattered now. Finally, they stopped at a dead end, a massive sealed blast door. The human's chest sank. "We're trapped." The alien placed both hands against the door, her body glowing brighter, energy surging from the strange organ within her. Sparks danced across the metal. She grit her teeth, her voice strained but steady. "This is what you feared, what they wanted to harvest, and now, it will be our way out." The hum grew louder, filling the corridor. The human stepped back, shielding his face. The door began to crack, glowing lines splitting across its surface. The air vibrated as if the very station itself trembled under her power dot, and in that blinding moment, the human realized two terrifying truths. She was not lying, the power she carried could shatter anything. He had crossed a line there was no return from. With one final surge, the blast door burst open, molten fragments scattering like sparks from a forge. Beyond lay open space, the cold stars glittering, and in the distance, the faint outline of ships. The alien turned to him, her silver eyes fierce yet calm. "Our escape begins now, human, but the galaxy will not forgive what you just chose." The human's breath caught in his throat. He had betrayed his command, abandoned his orders, and unleashed something no one could control. And as they stepped into the unknown, he realized this wasn't just an escape. It was the beginning of a war. The corridor beyond the blast door groaned with alarms. Red warning lights painting the steel walls in a constant pulse. Smoke and sparks rained from shattered panels. The human soldier stumbled forward, his boots clanging against the trembling deck. Behind him, the alien warrior moved with inhuman grace, her body glowing faintly, casting ghost-like shadows against the flames licking from ruptured pipes. Sirens shrieked. Automated turrets descended from the ceiling, scanning for targets. The soldier ducked instinctively, firing short bursts. Plasma bolts ricocheted against metal, searing the air with blinding flashes, but the alien did not flinch. Her strange organ pulsed with radiant energy, forming a shimmering shield that curved around them like glass made of light. The turret fire sizzled harmlessly against it, sparks bouncing away. The human stared in disbelief even as he ran. "That's impossible. No body should hold that much power." She glanced at him, her silver eyes fierce. "You see why they want me now? Why they fear me?" Another barrage slammed into the shield. She winced but pushed forward. "Do not waste breath doubting, human. Use your fear." Aim true. He turned, firing at the base of the turret. Sparks exploded, sending it crashing to the floor. For a moment, the path ahead cleared. The alien's glow dimmed slightly, her breath heavy. He noticed it. She was strong, yes, but not invincible. Every blast against her shield drained her. Keep moving. She barked, though her voice trembled with strain. The soldier hesitated, glancing at her glowing form. A thought clawed at him. What if she collapses? What if she's using me until she no longer needs me? Yet even as the doubt twisted his mind, another memory pushed back her chained form, mocking him, yes, but never begging. Her steady gaze when she said, "Trust me." They sprinted through another corridor, fire hissing from ruptured vents, smoke burning their throats. The soldier coughed, his lungs screaming, but he pushed on. The alien moved like a phantom, glowing light guiding him through the choking haze. Then came the sound, thundering boots behind them, reinforcements. The human's heart pounded. We can't outrun them. The alien turned sharply, pressing her glowing hand against the wall. Metal screamed, bending under invisible force. A sealed maintenance shaft cracked open, hot steam pouring out. Inside. She commanded. The soldier balked. The shaft was narrow, filled with twisting pipes glowing red-hot. Crawling through it was suicide. But then plasma bolts seared the wall inches from his head. He didn't think. He dove inside, the alien sliding in behind him. The shaft was hell. Steam burned their skin, every breath tasted of iron and ash. The soldier's palms blistered as he crawled over hot metal. Behind him, the alien's glow dimmed further, flickering like a dying ember. "Are you," he coughed, "going to make it?" Her voice came ragged, but steady. "Do not waste your pity. I burn so you may live." Something in her tone jolted him. Not mockery, not manipulation, just raw truth. For the first time, he saw her not as enemy, not as weapon, but as someone carrying a burden too heavy for any being. They burst out of the shaft into a vast hangar. Flames licked the ceiling where bombardments had ruptured fuel lines. Ships stood half destroyed, others sealed under lockdown. Sirens wailed louder, drowning thought. The soldier dropped to his knees, gasping. "We're trapped." Every ship's locked down. The alien staggered, her glow dim, but her eyes still burned bright. "Not every ship. One still listens." He frowned. "Listens?" She raised her hand. From her palm, shards of crystal glowed, humming in resonance. Across the hangar, a small scout craft systems flickered awake, as if responding to her presence. The human stared, awestruck. "You control them?" Her lips curved faintly. "Not control, symbiosis. The ships are built with what lives in us. That is why your people crave it so." Before he could answer, the hangar doors thundered open. Squads of soldiers poured in, rifles raised, shouting. The alien's glow flared weakly. She turned to him, voice sharp despite her exhaustion. "Get inside that craft now." He froze. Duty screamed in his veins. Those were his people coming through the door. He had fought beside them, trained with them. And yet his feet carried him toward the alien, toward the glowing craft she awakened. Plasma fire rained down, scorching the floor around him. He dove inside the ship's hatch as the alien stumbled in after him, her glow sputtering. The hatch slammed shut. The craft roared to life, metal vibrating with power unlike anything human-made. The alien collapsed against the wall, her body trembling, her silver eyes half-closed. "Fly, human," she whispered. "Take us through the fire. And pray your courage is greater than your fear." Outside, soldiers swarmed the hangar. Plasma fire scorched the ship. Explosions shook the air, and as the scout craft lifted into the flames, the soldier realized the truth. They weren't escaping from fire, they were flying through it. The scout craft tore through the flames. metal screaming as plasma bolts hammered its shields. The hangar shrank behind them, swallowed in smoke and fire. The human soldier gripped the controls, his knuckles white, every nerve screaming as the ship bucked violently under enemy fire. Beside him, the alien warrior slumped against the wall. Her silver glow flickered faintly, like a candle fighting to stay alive. Her eyes half opened, fixed on him. "Do not." "Let go," she whispered. He clenched his jaw. "I'm not letting anyone take us. Not them. Not now." The ship burst free of the hangar into open space. For a moment, the stars stretched infinite around them, a black canvas scattered with light. But the relief was short-lived. Enemy cruisers loomed ahead, their cannons already turning. The soldier's breath caught. "We're dead. They'll blow us apart before we reach orbit." The alien stirred weakly, raising a trembling hand. From her palm, shards of zerathium glowed, resonating with the ship's systems. The control panels lit up with alien symbols, the craft humming with power far beyond human technology. "Trust me." "One last time," she said, her voice low but steady. He stared at her, then nodded. "Always." The ship surged forward, faster than anything he had ever flown. Cannons fired blinding beams of plasma streaking across the void. But the alien's crystals pulsed brighter, bending space around the craft. Bolts veered aside, missing by inches as if the ship itself refused to be touched. The soldier's heart raced. "You're bending their fire?" Her faint smile returned. "Symbiosis. Where we end, the ship begins. This is the truth your commanders will never tell you." The enemy fleet closed in, engines burning, forming a net of steel around them. The human's throat tightened. "We can't outrun them all." Her silver eyes burned brighter, though her body trembled with exhaustion. "We will not run. We will reveal." Before he could ask, she pressed her hand against the core console. The ship's systems flared with brilliant light. Space itself seemed to ripple outward in waves, as if the stars had been closer to witness. The soldier shielded his eyes. "What are you doing?" Her voice echoed through the chamber, strong despite her failing strength. "Showing you why they fear us, why they call us Deathworlders. Not because we kill, but because we carry life itself." And then he saw it. The zerathium crystal within her pulsed, projecting not destruction, but creation. A field of radiant energy spread outward, like a second sun blossoming in the void. The humans stared in awe. The enemy fleet faltered. Their scanners went wild, systems disrupted by the wave. But it wasn't just disruption, it was revelation, on the ship's display. The soldiers saw visions, fragmented images flashing within the energy field. Planets healed by zerathium. Civilizations rebuilt, wars stopped not by conquest, but by shared survival. He whispered, almost in disbelief. "This isn't a weapon. It's a bridge." The alien's faint smile deepened, her silver eyes softening as they locked onto his. "Yes, and you, human. You are the first of your kind to see it." Tears burned his eyes before he could stop them. All his life he had been told to fight, to obey, to see aliens as enemies. But sitting beside her now, watching the stars bend under her gift, he realized the greatest power wasn't fear, it was the chance to unite what had always been divided, but the revelation came with a cost. Her glow dimmed further, her body trembling. The soldier reached for her, panic in his voice. "No, stay with me." "You can't." Her hand brushed his, weak but deliberate. "Do not fear for me. My strength is spent, but the seed is planted. What you do with it will shape your world. And mine." The ship jolted as the energy wave faded. Enemy ships regrouped, surrounding them again. The soldier's chest tightened. He had seconds to decide, fight, flee, or surrender. Her voice came one last time, a whisper against the hum of engines. "Now, human, Show me if your kind is worthy of what you've seen. Her eyes closed, her glow fading to a faint shimmer. The controls pulsed beneath his hands, waiting for his command. The enemy fleet closed in, their cannons glowing, ready to fire. The soldier inhaled sharply. His choice, once again, would decide everything. And in that fragile, breathless moment, as the void burned with looming fire, the story ended not with answers, but with a question that would echo across the stars.